College of Social Sciences, Wednesday 20th of July 2022, 10 a.m. Congratulations to our University of Birmingham graduates. Here we are in the Grace Hall at the heart of the Edgbaston campus. Attendees, mostly graduates and their friends and family, are seated. Here are the student musicians. It's great to see them returning to ceremonies following the pandemic. Now we're getting started. Here's the first of our 2 mace bearers beginning the ceremony. The centenary mace bearer is usually a staff member who has volunteered to take part in the ceremony. The mace bearer enters through the back of the Great Hall and leads a procession of staff to the stage. Bedell, who is the second of the 2 mace bearers, follows. Maces are placed on the stage for the duration of the ceremony.
I declare the congregation open. Well, welcome everyone. As Pro-Vice-Chancellor International, it's a real pleasure to welcome you today to your graduation. As you sit here in the Great Hall, a little bit hot I know, but not as bad as yesterday and the day before, you may just be able to glimpse the ghosts of all that has happened since this hall first opened almost 120 years ago. Just in recent months, the hall's included row after row of desks set out for exams, and that may bring back panicky memories in your minds. On this stage, you see speakers who have given lectures and speeches, and opposing sides engaged in heated debates. We've welcomed international conferences, religious festivals, celebratory dinners, even the odd wedding or two. The Great Hall has also had some less obvious uses over the years. If you'd been here in the First World War, you might have been a soldier returning from the front lines or a nurse treating the wounded, as this hall was converted into a military hospital. In the Second World War, you could have been training hard on a pommel horse as this room became a gym. Scroll forward to the 1960s, you might have been watching the latest film at a pop-up cinema. In the 70s and 80s, you might have been playing in the City of Birmingham Symphony Orchestra, which recorded 50 albums here over 2 decades. And more recently, and slightly less glamorously, you might have been swabbed at our COVID testing facility. All of that's just to give you a sense of the history of this building, but more importantly, the history of this university. So think back, if you can, to when you first arrived here. Or for those of you who started during the pandemic, when you first logged on to a Zoom call. Most of you will have experienced excitement. Some of you will have experienced, as I remember on my first day at university, trepidation, perhaps nervousness that you wouldn't fit in, or that you wouldn't be able to tackle the challenges ahead. And indeed, as you progressed through your degree, there will have been times when the decisions you needed to make seemed clear and obvious, but others when you really weren't sure what to do next. That at least is our hope, that you will have encountered concepts, problems, ideas that inspired you, and others that frankly made your brain hurt. I'm sure you will have attended lectures that filled you with knowledge and sparked your imagination. I'm sure that there may have been others that felt as if they went on just a bit too long. Possibly you've spent some long nights in the library, hoping against hope that the information would stick or that you could find the right reference for an interesting piece of research to include in your work. Outside of your academic efforts, you'll have made new friends, some of whom will remain friends for years and years to come. I really encourage you to treasure all of those experiences and treasure all of those people. You'll support each other during life's ups and downs, no matter where in the world you go. So I hope that today, you'll look back on all of that and recognize what it is that you've achieved. That although you may have started out with self-doubt and uncertainty, you've come through that to this special day. You've learnt that you can make friends when thrown into new situations, and that you can inspire and be inspired by others. Through all of that, you'll have gained fantastic memories of your time at this university that will stay with you forever. And as you reflect on all of those experiences and all of those people, on this your graduation day, you should rightly be proud of all the personal qualities that you've shown. However, I hope that you will agree with me that you couldn't have done it by yourself. If it's true that it takes a village to raise a person, it certainly takes a university to develop a graduate. During your time here, you'll have been taught by some of the best lecturers in the world, and I hope been inspired by their enthusiasm and knowledge of their area. You'll have been supported in myriad ways, some of which you may not fully recognize, by the tutors and student support teams around you. And so I'd like to offer you now this opportunity to thank everyone who supported you during your time here, some of whom have been able to join us today and are sitting behind me. So shall we give them a round of applause, graduates? But there's another set of people who are extremely important to you, and they're sitting towards the front of this great hall. You can't see it sitting at the back as graduands, but I can see incredibly proud faces. I can tell you from experience that as you're walking up these steps, there'll be a few tears in eyes, lumps in throats, quite a few shouts and hollers and whoops as well. There'll be people watching online and elsewhere who are thinking of you right now and are incredibly proud of everything that you've achieved. Most of you, if not all of you, will have that person or those people who have supported you and without whom you wouldn't be here. So let's take this opportunity now to thank all of them as well. So very soon now, you'll be coming up onto the stage and I'll admit you to your degree. This is your moment. When your name is read out and you come and shake my hand and receive the scroll, that will be your graduation. And family and friends, not that you'll need any encouragement, but that's your cue to make a lot of noise. So it just remains for me to give you the last words of advice. Be careful on the steps, give a big smile for the cameras, and savour this moment. Well done, all of you graduands.
Now for the handing of the scrolls. The graduands will walk from the left of the stage to the centre and collect their scroll from the conferring officer. After they're congratulated, they'll walk off stage.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Professor Cathy Cassell, and I'm Dean of our wonderful business school here at the University of Birmingham. And my job is to present the graduands to you. Pro-Vice-Chancellor, to you and the university, I present the names of these graduands as listed in my programme, both in attendance and in absentia, proved worthy to be admitted to their respective degrees.
Vice-Chancellor, I admit those persons listed in the programme to the degree for which they are to be presented.
College of Social Sciences, Birmingham Business School, Doctor of Philosophy for research into FinTech and Behavioural Finance, Saeed Kawach. For research into estimating the effectiveness of air pollution control policies in China, Bowen Liu. For research into the behaviour of households and firms in China, Huanjiao Ma. For research into the role of social distance on human behaviour using experimental economics methods, Hamida Motashami Bozadaran. For research into the social determinants of mental health in China, Yu Pei. For research into health reforms, public health and public hospitals in China, Yingmin Chu. Master of Science in Economics, Samuel Adu. Badrul Imam Mohammed Imran Mia. In International Money and Banking, Dylan Maheshbabi Patel. Bachelor of Science, Economics with Spanish, Samuel Miller. William Thomas Murray. And in Economics, Amna Adnan. Imani Afsal. Habib Ahmed. Istiak Ahmed. Anisa Hamida Ahmed. Temitope Inaiao Oluwaseun Ajose Adi Ugu. Georgios Andriopoulos. Ms. Garner Melody Araya. Will Armstrong. Ben Atkin. Tunge Kwora. Iman Ahmed Assis. Samaya Amonioni Babalola. Tom Baldwin. Khadija Baraka. Faizan Barry. Patrick Bow. George Robert Bealey. Yasmina Begum. Oladapu Toluwani Olawach Biloba Biwaji. Nikhil Bogata. Supriya Biju. Alexandra Bowden. Alexander Bygrave. Alice Robin Cann. Charlie Caunt. Anusha Chandra Sigaram. Po Chen Chen. Xin Yi Chen. Yiling Cheng. Imad Chowdhury. Joseph Clark. Zach Cohen. Hannah Cooper. Emma Costigan. Matthew Donald Cottrell. Mariana da Silva. Swarav Deshpande. Roshan Davani. Arun Dhaliwal. Arjun Singh Desai. Priya Dillon. Rahul Deer. Benjamin Edwards. Syed El Hadari. Ahmad Farhad. Sebastian Ford. Ryan John Oakes Freetley. Jo Ting Fu. Hannah Garden. Yu Ji Gong. Matthew William Freddie Grabsky. Siani Gunnison. Jaisal Chadu Halai. Milo Hale. Elizabeth Margaret Lucy Henty. Tara Amelia Sophia Hines. Kaiyuan Ho. Tianyi Huang. Yu Han Huang. Joe Hudson. Abra Hussain. Humayun Hussain. Mohammed Alamin Hussain. Jude Adolf Jackson. Rahul Manjunath Jain. Evelyn Heather Spiker Jamieson. Aliza Khan. Zaid Iftikhar Khan. Kaelan Lavdefer. Kira Lambrius. Freya Helen Ruth Lees. Bethany Alyssa Sterling Lewis. Aidan James Lowe. Hong Yang Luo. Shunan Ma. Jia Shin Man. Yufei Mao. Anna Marsh. Moda Mabai. Jonathan McAllister. Jack Jordan McBride. Fergus Patrick McGawley. Rodri Ewan McLaren. Benjamin Merrill. Mohammed Azer Mosen. Benjamin Moss. Oliver Newman. Danya Nimmerlan. Fabia Nusat. Oluwadi Milola Oluyemi. James Ormrod. Henna Powell. Ria Palmer. Amber Prakash Patel. Kilan Pravinchandra Pindolia. William Pooley. Joseph Potter. Priya Sunil Radia. Harry Joseph Rai. Harry Rehal. Alessio Franco Rossetti. Maya Rossi. Isabel Seeley. Emma Sheldon. Adam Blake Signal. Alexander Silcott. Hannah Sledger. Yu Song. Stephanie Stanway. Gavir Singh Sunna. Holly Thompson. Lauren Sadie Tissington. Nikos Tokos. Yu Xing Tung. Vipi Shen Udaya Kumar. Komal Sandeep Varshani. Rahul Vij. Max Waterfield. Matthew John Wood. Sheng Nan Yang. Ji Yuan Zhang. Junjia Ju. Batul Zuberi. And in economics and political science, Charlie Bennett. Natasha Elek. Alistair Fulham. Lamis Hashim. Yevhenia Hulpa. Harry James. Somtochi Sharon Anulaika Johnny Chukwu. Prabjoy Kaur. Erin Kofi Paul Monte. Oliver Piper. Dominic Selby. Lundrin Shabani. Anna Stephanie Tokarski. Charithma Wiladara Gamage. And in economics and political science, with year in computer science, James William Thomas. And in economics with year in computer science, Jessica Patterson Barnes. Rory Beer. Matthew Brown. Harry John Davis. Lawrence Ellis. Joseph Graham. William James House. Karen Lakani. Toby Palmer. Isabel Lucy Catherine Thornton. Ebin Varghese. Olushu Nadia Wells. Joshua Samuel Wyke. and in mathematical economics and statistics, Bhargatavir Singh Baines. Aman Boparai. Xiao Yu Chen. Jian Feng. Nia Ganeshan. Joe Samuel Griffiths. Han Yu Guan. Jian Ying Guan. Harry Hart. Junming Hu. Yiling Huang. Yu Shi Huang. Gen Li. Yuan Jia Li. Guan Yi Liu. Xuan Ma. Chu Xing Meng. Mia Palmer. Sabah Ajaz Ahmed. Arti Suresh. Elwa Tailifa de la Portalier. Lu Tang. Si Wang. Ji Yuan Wei. Yi Lu Wu. Jun Han Wat Yang. Chan Yi Zhang. Zhuo Yi Zhao. Shen Yuan Zhou. Haiping Chu. Jia Cheng Ju. And in money banking and finance, Ji Peng An. Jin Shan Tai. Merv Davolku. Gandeng. Li Hengjing. Xu Jinan Du. James Stephen Duffy. Salvinda Gakar. Camilla Home. Lang Hu. Shara Hua. Jeffrey Ayamide Ikatala. Chiwei Jia. Abhi Kumar. Ji Ya Ma. Arjun Singh Rai. Xu Yuan Ran. Yu Xiang Ren. Emily Roberts. Jifeng Xiao. Bo Yang Wang. Wei Xianhua Wang. Yifan Wu. Xiao Chen Yang. Ruin Zhang. Yan Ro Zhao. Prashant Ramnath Singh. I would now like to introduce to you our student speaker, who's Kilan Pandolia, BSc Economics. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm grateful for the privilege of saying just a few words on behalf of the graduates for the Department of Economics. I would like to offer a massive congratulations to everyone at the back because this is an amazing achievement. I would also like to express my gratitude towards those who have paved the way for all us graduates to sit here today. Lecturers, supervisors, tutors, senior staff, and the Guild have all contributed to making our university experience run as seamless as possible in some of the most challenging years the university has ever faced. I'm also sure we would all like to thank our family and friends. Without their constant support, we might not have graduated today. And so, although this moment is about us graduates celebrating, don't think for a second that you have not been a massive part of this journey. I would personally like to thank my mum, my sister, and my dad, and all my friends, some who are here today, you guys know who you are, for just being there for me, and I wouldn't be half the man I am right now without you guys. It feels like only yesterday I was arriving at my student accommodation for the first time, with hope in my eyes and random utensils I didn't know how to use in my arms. I didn't know what the next 3 years of university had in store for me, and certainly would not have predicted it to turn out the way it did. We could possibly have foreseen the countless late nights, perhaps studying, or the late nights binging Netflix, or even on Broad Street. But what we couldn't have prepared for were some of the toughest challenges we've possibly ever faced in our lifetimes so far. Challenges such as writing a dissertation, revising for multiple exams, and of course for waking up for 9 a.m. lectures. On top of all of this, the pandemic completely changed the landscape we worked in. In the toughest of times, we showed self-belief and optimism. In spite of our differences and how these past few years have put us on different paths to help us explore our unique identities, we all share a fundamental commonality: this fierce sense of determination. Determination, coupled up with the world-class resources our university has to offer, has led us to become some of the finest graduates in our respective courses across the country. And this is why we should be proud to be graduates from the University of Birmingham. Whilst reaching your goal of graduation, you may think to yourself that you're undeservedly here, a feeling known as imposter syndrome. I can assure you that every single one of you sitting here today deserves their degree. From being constantly challenged in lectures, to being regularly questioned in seminar classes, we have been tested more than you think. Obtaining a degree is not just a signal of your exam scores, but also a reflection of your personal growth within the subject. Navigating complex economic theory, models, and data is definitely not for the weak. And although you may not have come to university understanding these things, I'm sure you have graduated with a better understanding than at first. This is growth, and something we must carry on doing. Now, as one chapter of our life comes to an end, another one begins. Now, in our time to take on new challenges, whatever they may be, William Shakespeare once said, "Some are born great, some achieve greatness, and some have greatness thrust upon them." In life, we cannot always count on being born great or having greatness thrust upon us. But always remember that the opportunity to achieve greatness is within our grasp. Bear in mind that many of our role models started their lives as an average person, as just one of you and me. Despite the errors we will be making, and although we may be average, we find that average can achieve greatness, whether recognized by the world or just a few. Greatness comes from using our knowledge obtained at university to better humanity, and those who strive to change society one small step at a time, those unsung heroes. If there's anything you take away from today, remember that to leave a legacy and to achieve greatness is not about gaining wealth and recognition. It's to leave the world a better place than the state you found it in. These are the legacies we leave behind. Graduating cohort of 2022, it's been an absolute pleasure spending the last 3 years with you. And from the bottom of my heart, I wish you all the very, very best. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Killen, for those really thoughtful words. As Pro-Vice-Chancellor and Head of the College of Social Sciences, it's my great privilege now to bring this ceremony to a close, and I will try to be brief. The first thing I want to do is to say, congratulations, graduates. You did it. Give yourselves a round of applause. The second is a question, really, and it's probably one you're asking yourselves too. What next? Where do you go from here? Well, the most obvious answer is you go out of that door at the back, and if you keep going straight, you can walk under Old Joe and celebrate in the Green Heart with your fellow students, tutors, family, and friends. And I believe that there is a reception, if you keep going far enough, Hopefully we have fixed the air conditioning in the tent that broke yesterday, but if not, I'm sure there will be a reception nearby somewhere reasonably cool. You might have time, perhaps later on, instead of going straight, to turn left and walk down the corridors of this great Aston Webb building. There you would find museum objects, prototypes, manuscripts and photographs that tell the stories of the groundbreaking research undertaken here at this university. They include the work of Sir Peter Medwar, who won a Nobel Prize for his work on organ transplants, and that of two dentists who invented the first airbags after treating servicemen with severe facial injuries from vehicle accidents sustained during the First World War. Or, if you turn right, you'll find posters and photos showing the university's role in local and international music culture. Everything from Sister Bliss and The Cure through to Joy Division's last ever concert. And parents, you might have to explain to the kids who Joy Division are. I hope that you'll find these exhibitions inspiring, as this is a university that has inspired many great things over the last 120 years. And that takes me to my second what next, the world of work. Now, I doubt if any of you will be using your economics degrees to become dentists or pop idols. But it is nonetheless the case that across the world, over 300,000 University of Birmingham alumni work in pretty much every conceivable industry, many of them making a huge difference. And today, you become part of that community. Your skills as economists will be very much in demand across a surprising range of sectors. And more than that, you are graduating with a degree from the Birmingham Business School, one of the top business schools in the world. In particular, our focus on responsible business has never been more important. How will businesses tackle the problem of global warming, a problem that is very much on our minds as we've sweltered in the heat this week? How can businesses become more diverse, more ethical, and in doing so, better serve customers and the wider community? Now, I'm not saying your economics degrees will have given you all of the answers, but hopefully you will at least already know some of the right questions. And whether you go into business, government, the creative industries or elsewhere, or indeed continue doing what you were doing before you started your master's or your PhD, I hope you can bring the knowledge, passion and skills, all of which I'm sure have been sharpened during your time here, to make the world a better place. And that takes me to my final what next. Come back. When you leave here today, you start a new chapter, yes, with new challenges and new opportunities, but you will also always be welcome here on campus, and we very much hope that you will stay in touch. Indeed, you might want to return very soon. We're very proud to be hosting the Commonwealth Games, hockey and squash, in just a couple of weeks here on campus. If you were to cheer on the England women's hockey team, you'll be pleased to know that a third of them are University of Birmingham graduates. And more broadly, Birmingham students and alumni will be representing their countries in 9 sports, including swimming, judo and athletics. But beyond that, beyond this summer, yes, come back. Our careers service remains open to you if you need support and can provide an excellent service. Our fantastic alumni relations team run events for recent graduates and can connect you with alumni around the world. You could volunteer to help the next generation of bright minds, as some of you will have been supported by our current alumni. Who knows, if things go well, you could give back in other ways, perhaps supporting our Birmingham in Action fundraising campaign that aims to find more sustainable ways of living, to improve global health, to drive innovation, and to support fulfilling lives. But enough from me. What next has arrived. Graduates, you entered the Great Hall today as graduates, and you leave now as graduates of the University of Birmingham. I hope you look back with genuine pride in what you have achieved, but more important, with anticipation for what is yet to come. Class of 2022, well done.
I declare the congregation closed.
Congratulations to our new graduates. The attendees applaud our new graduating class. Graduates out of the Great Hall. The ceremony that completes the university journey for hundreds of Birmingham alumni is now closed.
Well done, everyone. Congratulations. Enjoy the day.
The live stream has now ended. The live stream has now ended.